Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, we begin with breaking news. No evidence found in search related to Maura Murray case, officials say. New Hampshire State Police, Attorney General's Office, FBI at scene. No evidence was found today in the search of the basement of a home near where a college student who disappeared in 2004 was last seen, officials said. Associate Attorney General Jeffrey Schultz said a team of detectives dug up part of the basement of a Woodsville home in an attempt to find evidence in the search for Maura Murray, who was last seen in February 2004. Schultz said the area around the home was searched shortly after Murray was reported missing. He said the home recently had been a target of increased speculation by private citizens who thought there might be a body in the basement. Ground penetrating radar used by private citizens indicated that the ground under the basement had been disrupted, Schultz said. Search dogs also indicated there might be something in the area, but Schultz said law enforcement officials did not believe there was enough credible evidence to get a search warrant. The current homeowners allowed state police and FBI agents to search the basement, and Schultz said they cut into the concrete and searched several feet down, but found nothing but a small piece of pottery or old pipe. Murray, a 21-year-old University of Massachusetts Amherst student, has not been seen since she was involved in a single car crash on the night of February 9th, 2004. Her disappearance has sparked years of theories about what happened to her. The case has also been the subject of an Oxygen television series and a popular podcast. Previously, officials in the Attorney General's office have said that not all adult missing person cases are concerning, but given the circumstances, Mary's case is very concerning, and that's why there has been an ongoing criminal investigation. Bedford teen backs car into father, 8-year-old brother, police say. Let's take a listen to the video.
Out the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
Bedford police say a man and his 8-year-old son walking toward a school bus were hit by a car backing out of a driveway this morning and were taken to a hospital. This happened around 7:30 this morning on Back River Road there in Bedford. Authorities say the boy suffered serious injuries. The 47-year-old father's injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. The driver was an 18-year-old man. We'll keep you updated on that story throughout the day.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Maine State Police detective hit, killed on I-95, police say. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
A Maine state trooper has died after he was hit while responding to a disabled vehicle on I-95 in Hampton. Police say the trooper was out of his vehicle when he was hit by a tractor trailer. Police have not identified that trooper. We do expect more information later today.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Good Samaritan rescues fallen kayaker from Cobbett's Pond in Windham. A kayaker who fell out of their kayak and into Cobbett's Pond in Windham on Tuesday is safe thanks to a Good Samaritan. Just after 6 p.m., Windham police and fire were called out to the area of 15 Farmer Road for a report of a person in the water hanging onto the side of their kayak and calling for help. The kayaker was able to pull themselves back up onto the overturned kayak, but was still calling for help when the first officer arrived on scene. While Windham firefighters in cold water rescue suits were launching a rescue kayak, a neighbor was able to reach the victim and pulled them into their boat to safety. They brought the kayaker to shore where a dairy ambulance crew provided a medical evaluation. The kayaker decided not to be transported to a medical facility. The kayaker and fishing gear was recovered. The Windham Fire Department cautioned that water temperature can quickly lead to hypothermia in early spring and even briefly submerged. Transportation officials urge people to drive carefully through work zones. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
With vests bearing their names and hard hats, the 5 people who lost their lives in New Hampshire work zones were remembered. As spring construction season gets underway, there is a push to remind drivers to pay attention at all times, especially in work zones.
On average, in 2015, a work zone crash occurred once every 5.4 minutes. Every day, 70 work zone crashes occurred that resulted in at least one injury.
This crash on 93 last November shows what can happen. The message that the New Hampshire DOT hopes to get across is for motorists to drive like their loved ones are working in those zones. The National Work Zone Memorial bears the names of more than 1,400 individuals that have died in work zones.
It is troubling that we're still seeing across the country similar deaths, and that is completely unnecessary.
The commissioner adding safety is their #1 priority.
Safety for our workers and the contractors that are out keeping our roadways in good condition.
This memorial will be dedicated in June, but a week from today, the DOT is asking people to wear orange to promote awareness of work zone safety. Reporting live in Concord, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Peregrine falcon incubating 4 eggs at Manchester Tower. Let's take a look at this video from WMUR News 9.
Baby Peregrine Falcon Watch is underway once again in downtown Manchester, and here's a live look from the nest at the Brady Sullivan Tower on Elm Street. Within the last hour, we have spotted a 4th egg in this nest.
Congratulations.
The falcons have been hatching inside a replica of a cliff dwelling built atop the tower since 2003. At one point, the birds disappeared from the state, but they've returned. They are still considered endangered, which is why this is such a great
It is kind of
wonderful
neat here.
thing.
But quadruplets, though. Mama's going to have her hands full. Yeah.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And Goffstown Police, a traffic alert for people in Goffstown on Terrill Hill Road from Blackbrook Road to Lindsay Way is closed due to trees down. Seek alternate route, they ask. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. And here's a look at your U.S. stock market for this Wednesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed flat. Oil closed flat. U.S. 10-year closed in the green and went up. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 rises post 5-day winning streak on trade deal hopes. Stocks rose slightly on Wednesday as investors cheered a nearing trade deal between the U.S. and China through softer measures on payroll, and the service economy kept a lid on optimism. Damage sensor on Ethiopian Airlines 737 MAX triggered fatal crash, sources say. The Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 737 MAX, which crashed in March and killed 157 people, suffered a damage angle of attack sensor upon takeoff from a bird or foreign object, triggering enormous data and the activation of an anti-stall system called MCAS, sending the pitch of the plane downward and ultimately crashing into the ground. 2 aviation sources familiar with the investigation told ABC News. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night, everyone. Bye.